into the security services. I think that's quite commendable. That's also commendable. We need to do something to help our athletes and support them. That's the kind of support we can give them. Giving them employment in the security agencies and finding a spot for them so that they have the assurance of a regular paycheck, so they can live well, they can live decent lives. So their focus will not be on money and all of that. They can focus on doing the sport and doing it well, and they can give it 100%. Of course, that's not the only thing we must do. We must provide good coaches, proper training regimes, infrastructure, and all of those things. But if we want to recruit them, that's also a very, very, very good thing to do. All right, 7:26. Let me get to the line. Let me do my first interview of the morning. Let me speak with Frank Amoah. Frank Amoah is the CEO of Ashtown Ladies, and he's a women's football advocate, right? He, of course, runs a women's football team, so he knows at first hand what it means to have female athletes under your care and what it takes to get them to the next level. So let me speak with Frank, and then we'll roll out the rest of the show. Frank, good morning. Thank you so much for speaking with us on the Sporty Breakfast on Sporty FM.
Good morning, Nathan.
How are you doing, Chief?
I'm fine, please.
All right, wonderful. Just first question, initial thoughts on what the Queens have done so far. Some people say that it's a great achievement. Other people think that, well, these are things we used to do back in the day, and we are returning to doing them. So we shouldn't be overly excited. I don't know what you think or what you make of what the Queens have done so far in the WAFCON.
Well, to me, I'm very happy that they have delivered women football from the downroom for past 20-something years. Women football is not progressing despite we are participating in international tournaments. We are not making an impact. With this fit, they have made a case for women football, and the whole nation has embraced women football now. Unlike previously, you see, with the stakeholders and the players and our few supporters and our followers who understand the game or who support us. But now the whole Ghana has embraced women football. So that means we have arrived, and there will be a change too. Okay.
When you say that women's football was in the doldrums or people were not paying attention, you mentioned 20 plus years or so. What exactly was going on? Why is it that we had women's national teams, there were clubs and all, but we still didn't seem to make a lot of progress? What was the problem in that time period that you mentioned, that you described as being in the doldrums in terms of women's football? What was wrong? What was not happening? And what were we not doing as a country?
When it comes to sponsorship-wise, and the FA resources is not enough to support the clubs, and the clubs are run from individual pockets. When you go to corporate Ghana, they won't give you that chance or give you the support. So now, at that time, we were thinking, as I said 20 years ago, we have some Valentine's Day match. If you could remember, 2004, the whole Accra Sports Stadium was full to capacity. That day, I thought women football would see the light, but unfortunately, Nigeria beat us at Accra Sports Stadium, qualify for Athens Olympic Games. That's what the day I see that corporate Ghana disown us, because I had an opportunity to meet SIC executive through Mr. Bwedi. Okay. He was their PR at that time. So they invited me to their office for a chat how to sponsor women football. But after this match, they decided to back out. And we went to Guinness Malta that year, the same year. At that time, the head of Malta Guinness was a woman, but she declined to support us.
Okay.
So the sponsorship or government involvement to see, like President Mahama is saying, that the government will see to that they give us support. because I see women football. It's not a mere football. It's something to get our sisters and daughters from the streets. Okay. And give them a work and empower them to know their left from right, rather than waiting for some time. So they are in the protest. Let's go and evacuate them all. These child trafficking issues. So something, if now our government has understood it, is good.
I see. When you say that, government support, government should intervene and all of that, what specific things do you think the government can do? That is one. What specific things do you think the GFA can do? And what specific things do you think all other stakeholders, media, clubs, club owners like yourself and all, what do you think everybody must do specifically to ensure that we develop women's football and take it to the next level?
One, government is not necessarily money, but they should put up some measures which can pave way for the practitioners or stakeholders. And the GFA is doing its part, but it's not enough. And club owners to also to invest whatever they get from sponsorship or money from the FA, FIFA money to the clubs. To also invest into the game well. Then this, I heard the president said about these security services. The question is, the security service cannot recruit a toddler or a beginner to the service unless she's matured. So at that time, how these private clubs are going to do? And the security service clubs, they are only 4 or 5. They can't match individual clubs. So if without individual clubs, we can't get the security service to play unless they engage their own CSA games. They have a CSA games. If they can go through that one, it's okay. So to me, if we all come together, we brainstorm and put down a collective ideas, we can move on. I see football as women empowerment.
Okay, and then for you club owners and the larger football world, or the people we call the football people, what do you think they can do? The FA, yourself, other club owners, other clubs. What do you think you can equally do to also support, the growth and development of women's football?
We have to get our, let's say, logistics in place and make sure we enroll them in school. Some don't go to school, some don't have a trade. All those things, when you put it together, it will answer our job for us and for us to get a good national team to project our course.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking with us. I'm sure we'll speak again with Frank Amoah, CEO of Ashtown. Just before you go, how are you getting ready for the new season? It will soon be upon us. I think late August, September. How are Ashtown ladies getting ready for the new football season?
The league will kick off somewhere
October. Okay.
Well, yeah, we are ready. We are doing some recruitment here and there and come out in big style unlike previous year. We went to relegation and we are back.
Okay.
And with this new waves, I'm saying the Black Queens have made a case for women football now. So wherever you go for sponsorship or whatever assistance, you may get it.
Okay, Frank, thank you so much for speaking with us. We wish you the very best as you get ready for the new season. All right, that was Frank Amoah, CEO, Ashtown Ladies, and he's a huge women's football advocate. So he says that, we need to give more opportunities. He talks about employment into the security services. Not only that, we should bring back the CESA game. So when we do that, we are engaging a lot of these athletes, and then we are giving them competition. Then he speaks about the football people also doing their bit, education, doing what they can to support these female athletes so they can also get some education to enhance their own lives and their own careers. don't know what you think. 054-257-1061. I don't know what you think. I don't know what you believe we can do to improve the status of women's football in the country. So let me know what you think. But yeah, the Black Queens, they are the team of the moment. They've met the president, they've met the vice president, they have met all the key stakeholders. I'm sure the GFA met them at the airport and all. Yesterday was their day out. I'm sure we'll be getting a lot more detail of what they were doing yesterday. But next week, we'll have a series of exclusives with different Black Queens players. So tune in next week. Next week, we have a feast of exclusives for you from the Black Queens camp. We'll speak to a lot of the players. They will tell us their own stories, how they felt during the competition, and what they believe the way forward is. What they believe the way forward is for their team, and what they believe can be done to make things better. Now, earlier you heard Anita Minta, who is the assistant head coach of the team, speaking about, the fact that if it hadn't worked out after the group stage, she would have quit, she would have walked away, and all of that. So, and I think she also speaks a bit on Kim Lars Bjørgren's vision for the team and what she believes is the way forward. Now, for Anita Minta, this is a very interesting run for her because she was part of the Black Queens back in 2006. She was a silver medalist, so she knows what it means to play in the WAFCON. She knows what it means to be a Black Queens player. She knows what it means to compete at the highest level. And she knows exactly how the players must have been feeling, throughout the competition when it looked like their backs were against the wall and they were not going to make it and it was tough. So that's a good one there. But let's listen to Anita Minta for those who are wondering what it is I am saying. Let's just listen to her and then we can close out our conversation on the Black Queens. So here's Anita Minta, assistant head coach of the Black Queens.
We saw how the previous experience had been, and then we told ourselves that we need to make an impact. So we planned to take it step by step, and then we told ourselves that once we got out of the group stage, we would win the trophy. The last time Ghana won silver was in 2006, and I was in the squad. I was a player then. So I told myself I needed a gold to add to the silver. Nevertheless, I've gotten a bronze. We'll still look for the gold. It wasn't easy. I mean, at a point, I think after the Mali game, I told myself if we don't go past the group stage, I would actually quit coaching. It's really been an experience. It has really encouraged me to know that, yes, there are challenges in every job that we choose. Sometimes you may have a downtime, but eventually you get out of the water and then you see the sun.
Anita Minta, the very interesting words that, you will get out of the water and you will see the sun. So that's some inspirational stuff for everybody there. That's something we all need to bear in mind. Tough times will come, yes, but it's all about how you rise, how you respond to those tough times. So shout outs to the Queens. They've done themselves really, really, really proud. And we'll see what happens. They have a WAFCON to think about next year. So it's not like there's time for sleeping. They have to think about that next year. And now they need to repeat this, make the semis so they can qualify for the Women's World Cup. So it places a lot more pressure on them and it makes the next WAFCON 10 times more valuable because you need to get into the last four. You need to get into the last four if you want to play in the Women's World Cup in Brazil in 2027. 7:41. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. You can send me a comment. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. We've played a lot of voices this morning. The president, the vice president. We've played Anita Minta, Kotoko, the MPs. Let me know what you think. Calvin Osman will have his take, and then we'll see if we can open the phone lines till about 8, and then we'll proceed with the rest of the show. I mean, you can even share other comments. It doesn't have to be about the Black Queens. If you want to talk transfers, whatever, you can let us know, right? You can let me know what it is that is on your mind. You can let me know what it is that is on your mind. 054-257-1061. Kelvin, you are here with me. You've been listening to a lot of the audios. I don't know what your own thoughts are on everything that's been said or everything that has happened so far.
Well, I think it's great, and for how lower football sank with regards to the women's national team and the performance over the years when it comes to the WAFCON and then the Africa continent. I think this is a bold step, Whether fortunately or unfortunately, we're sinking rather in, national team performance, but on the club side, we saw some resurrection from Hazaka's ladies. Ampimdakwa tried their best, but it wasn't enough. Hopefully, police ladies will continue. And we saw a revamp in, women football in the country, the sponsorship from, Malta Guinness and all that, letting us see that, yes, women football is gaining some bit of prominence. Now, I look at the performance of, these ladies, and I always say, yes, they've done better than previous years, to come back to the AFCON, the WAFCON after a number of years clearly gives us an indication that, yes, there is that appreciation of good stuff. Now, I think that, yes, they need plaudits for what they have done. But the team is falling short of what they were actually expected. Because you look at this team, and I'm not sure any other Black Queens team has had the kind of preparation they had. The kind of, pre-tournament campaign that they've had, the kind of investment that, we've given them. This is not to say that they shouldn't continue to invest in the team. They've won about $350,000 by virtue of winning the bronze medal. Mm-hmm. A chunk of that money should go into preparation and also to support the other, women national teams. It's not just about giving them bonuses or rewarding them. It's about getting the right infrastructure, the right facilities to help develop women football. And I think it cuts across. If we are investing properly in football, if the sector ministry, headed by Kofi Adams, together with the Ghana Football Association, and as the president has given his take that they are going to give them support, Parliament, everyone clamoring for support and investment for them, they should put the money into very good use. Is it about facilities? Is it about coaching education? Is it about making sure that medical care is given to these players, especially those who are battling with several injuries? The likes of Doris Wadu are our biggest assets. How we are going to concentrate on them to follow their progression at club side, to make sure that they are good. On the local scene, which players are the prospects? Comfort Yeboah. What are we going to give her that the next competition that is about 7 months away, we are going to have a very excellent player who would be, miles better. We'll be seeing her more radiant and giving final deliveries and scoring like what we saw from Lucy Bronze from England. We want to see that sort of progression. It's not just about investing and then calling for the same or closer money. All of us are even saying that by virtue of our economic standards and as a developing country where there are lots of priorities, even the money that the Black Stars earn, we must not increase it, or we need to even reduce the kind of money we put into the Black Stars.
Okay.
So why are we clamoring for us to even get closer for the Black Queens to get to that amount? They clearly deserve, better remuneration. But I don't think that we must, forcefully push them high up. if you push them high up, definitely, obviously, the men's game would always be the men's game. They are going to offer, that lot. If it was about bronze medal, yes, we've seen the bronze medal. Although, yes, the Black Stars, got to some stage at the WAFCON, they got to the final, they were given jeeps and all that. But how consistent have the Queens been? The men were consistent for a period. 2008, they won bronze. 2010, we got to the final. The 2012 edition, that successive semi-final, final appearance to 2015. And that was what earned them that. And successive World Cup appearances, the point at 2010, we got to the quarterfinals, nearly getting to the semi-finals. So we just want to see that progression. The focus should be about what we are going to do infrastructure-wise, talent development-wise, coaching education-wise, and, monitoring these ladies to give them the very best. Hopefully, the government and the ministry will focus on that and give us, better, value for the money that the Queens have earned and better value for the money that the government, together with the president, is going to raise for these ladies. And I think that the vice president, as a woman, and all the females in, government, should advocate for better stuff for these ladies, because when it gets to the men's game, the men push for it. So I want to see them push for it too. At this tournament, how many of our top females in government advocated and promulgated what the Black Queens were doing until they got to the semi-final?
Yeah.
They were just not interested. Nobody was interested. Hopefully they listen and they do what is needful. What is a necessity must be done before what is a want. Now they are doing what is a want, going around with the museum, give them reward. What is the necessity?
Okay,
that should be done. The fundamentals must be fixed.
That's a very important point. Let's go to the line. Let's speak with former coach of the Black Queens, Yussif Basigi. Himself was a bronze winner back in 2016, and then he won the Africa Games with the team sometime last year. Coach, thank you once again for joining us. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing good.
Wonderful.
Are you?
Yes, we are fine. Thank you so much for speaking with us. So, just like in your time, the Queens have picked up bronze. What do you think the way forward should be for them? Now that at least we know that this team can achieve something, what is left? What can take them from bronze to gold the next time they show up at the WAFCON? What can we do as a country to move them to the next level?
Sporty FM.
Well, I would say the succession plan will be our guide, because right now I know the coach will do his report, and then he will indicate where they need to augment and where I think was okay and all that. So based on his report, then they can pick some pieces from there and then put it together so that we can move forward. However, you made mention of the money that you are receiving from CAF should be invested in the women's football. Yes.
Yeah.
Most especially, their injury levels
Okay.
are very, 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 very horrible, because they easily get ACL, crucial ligaments. Because I've been witness to many of these girls getting crucial ligaments right in front of me at training.
Okay.
Nobody touches them, and then, ladies easily get crucial ligaments, unlike the men. And it's not all that we need to get specialists that can take care of that, so that they'll be safe in terms of injuries. And immediate attention should be given to them because at times they have to struggle before. At times the FA will take care of it before the ministries. Most of the time the FA will initiate the move by way of, okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this.
before the ministry will come in. So now they can set aside a certain fund purposely for that. So that immediately a national team player is injured, then attention is given. So that one would even boost them. It will boost them to even work harder because they know that they are secured. When it comes to injury or whatever, they are secured. So that is a big motivation. That will be a big motivation for them. On the other hand, I think that just like you said, the preparation was good. They had good preparation. They had good preparation for this tournament. So if it continues that way, I think they'll be consistent with the team cohesion because they've been playing together most of the time. So I would suggest that every international break, they should have at least a match or two. Every international break, they should have a match or two. That will give them the exposure, that will give them team cohesion and team spirit. And it will ease the work for the coach. At least you have fair idea and every player would like to be in the starting team because of that opportunity given. So that is my suggestion.
Okay, you mentioned a succession plan. The next WAFCON is 7 or so months away. Between now and then, do you think that there could be the possibility that newer players could be brought in, or you think that the time frame might be too short to introduce a lot of new players? So we should expect to see a large chunk of this same crop at the next WAFCON.
Yeah, it will depend on players, especially with the female players. Today you see her, the brightest spot, the next moment she's off. See, most of them are not consistent in terms of performance. So we talk about looking for other potentials so that we are not, the team should not be completely demolished. But I will say that at least after when they are progressing, then the potentials are also spotted and then also brought on board. So I think that one will help a lot.
Okay. Finally, Coach, the team played 6 games? 6 games in the competition, finished third and all. When you look at Ghana's, performance all through, and you look at teams, say like Morocco and Nigeria, the 2 teams that made the final, how far behind are the Black Queens, right? How quickly do you think they can win an AFCON? Are they a year behind? Are they 2 tournaments behind? Are they 3 tournaments behind? What can they do to ensure that the next time they go, they are the ones contesting for the big prize in terms of the WAFCON?
That is why I made mention of the FIFA breaks.
Okay.
Because Morocco, I'll not even take out South Africa. Morocco, South Africa, Nigeria, they utilize all the international breaks. Every international break, you see them playing. So I think that that will solve our problem. Seriously, because you see, it has even helped them with this kind of friendly that they played. Initially, we were thinking, the Queens are not in themselves, they are not performing because the results that were coming from their friendlies. But I made mention somewhere that every coach and his plan, maybe he doesn't look, or he's not looking at the results that he's getting in the friendlies. He's looking at how to fix the team. And there are some coaches who want to also use the friendlies to build up their team straight away in terms of performance and team spirit. But I realize that and taking care or making sure that he gets the right people to play. So the result didn't matter him much, but he was looking at certain progressions in the team, which I think it has worked for him.
Okay. You when I asked the question, you mentioned I think one half, or your question kind of answered one half or your response, was one half to my question about, you said that a lot of the big teams, Morocco, South Africa, Nigeria, they take advantage of the FIFA window to play games. Great. Yeah. So assuming we do all of that, how close will it take us to winning an AFCON? Or in addition to that, there are other things we must do to bridge the gap so that next time we are not too far behind Nigeria, or we can actually go into a final against Nigeria or against Zambia, Morocco, whoever, and we know that we are ready for such games. You get my question?
I've gotten your question.
Yes.
Yeah. Just like I said, and I'll repeat it again, consistency brings about team cohesion. And because of that, Nigeria, anytime they call them for any competition or any tournament, they've been playing among themselves for so many years. And 2016, Oshola was with the Falcons.
Okay.
Because we played against them 1-1. We drew against them 1-1 in Limbe, in Cameroon. And she scored a goal and we equalized. You see, and though some have fizzled out, and then they are bringing in new ones to fix the team. And I think that this is how, and even if you look at the South African team, you see that about quite a number of players didn't feature, meaning that they are preparing because they needed a trophy and everything all right. Maybe they also have another plan because they know that the biggest tournament is the next WAFCON that will qualify them for the World Cup. So let's use these potentials and this kind of players and see, irrespective of the results. Yes, we needed to win at all costs because we are the defending champions. However, it could happen that the next WAFCON, you see a different South African team. So in this case, we should also look at it analytically, not holistically, so that we look at players that are actually hungry or have the character in terms of tournaments. Because we have some, yes, you see their performances at training or even qualifiers, but when you take them to the major tournament, they flop. You see, I have had several experiences where a player could play almost every position, and we thought we had the best player that we should expect in the tournament. We got there, the player told us she was sick. We treated her until we came back. Okay. Until the last match we played, she got well. So it's unfortunate. You see, she disappointed us. Okay. So there are some of them when it comes to that. So us, and when you play these matches, you get to know those with that character. And then you take them out and then fixing players who are much, much, much hungry.
Okay. Players who have a stronger mentality.
Alice Kusi was part of my team in 2016.
Okay.
But then she was struggling. But now, how do we see Alice Kusi? You see, he was part of the team. They were the few young players that I brought on board. I said, these are the future players for the Queens. Though some got out of the way due to injuries and other things, but for her, yes, she has survived. And now Alice Kusi is one of our icons in this ended tournament. You see, so I think that will help. We have players with character who are hungry to play, who have the big heart to play matches.
All right, we'll see, but we'll see how things go. Thank you, Coach. Thank you so much for speaking with us. We really appreciate the time you've taken to share your thoughts with us. I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was Coach Yussif Basigi, ex-head coach of the Black Queens, won the bronze medal in 2016. They beat South Africa to do so in Cameroon, and then he led the team to win the African Games last year, and then they also won gold in the African Games in 2015. This was in Congo. I remember that so well. They beat Cameroon in that final. A minute after 8, this is the Sporty Breakfast. Give me a call. Let's take some calls. And then we will proceed to discuss other matters. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. We said a lot about the Black Queens. I just want you to share your thoughts with me on what you think the best way forward is for the team. They play another WAFCON in about 7 months. That one will take them to the World Cup if they make the semi-final. So what do you think can be done to help the Black Queens? Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Clement from Ethiopia.
All right, Clement, please go ahead.
Okay, I want to touch on the Black Queens.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say something concerning this squad. I think, some were there that this was their first time into their tournament, and others too have known this tournament a bit. And there's something about this, not only the Black Queens, but the Black Stars, and even Ghana, like the national teams. Whenever there is a tournament, there are new set of faces. I think this Black Stars, this Black Queens team, if we give them time to know themselves, if you give them time to stay together, stay put, I think it will help. It will help us moving forward. And I fear, this wouldn't be the same squad. Or if being the same squad, I think only 5 will remain for the next tournament because some are very old, but they have the experience, and I think they will let them go out because saying they are old. But I pray we maintain this team, the old ones. When we feel their legs are tired, we replace them with new set of faces. But changing the whole team as a whole really help us. And concerning the payments of the Black Queens, I don't know why we don't want to give them at least half of the payment. Yesterday I heard Uncle Ray saying a lot about it, but I think it's not fair. It's not fair. Not fair. They should do something. Yeah, they should do something about their payment. I know they can't end the same as the men, but giving them half of it will help them boost their morale. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Clement. I appreciate that, and I agree with you. I think even at least half of what the Black Stars earn, I think the Queens should earn that. That's what I think. Hello.
Not my guy.
Yes. How are you? Good morning. What's your name?
I'm good.
Yes. Please go ahead. What's your name? You didn't tell us your name, please.
I'm Barry from Anita, bro.
All right. Please go ahead.
Charlie, shout out to good morning. The other guy.
Okay.
I really did it.
Who's this?
Is it I don't forget the name. I can't mention the name. Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
Kelvin is in studio with me.
Okay. But shout out to them, bro.
Okay, all right.
Charlie, I do appreciate how everybody appreciate the girls because they did a lot. But we can't celebrate them forever. The level that we celebrate reach there is okay. So So the next option is how are we going to do more things? That is the problem right now. So they have to stop celebrating and things like this. So now, I think play more trading game in teams will make the players know them of each other. That is the way. They have to play more trading game in teams. That is the only way. That's what I saw. Thank you, bro.
All right. Thank you so much for your call. 5 minutes after 8. Let's take more calls. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes,
Nathan.
good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Nick calling from Musu.
All right, please go ahead.
Okay, so with regards to the Black Queens, I think you've done a great job by getting the bronze medal at the WAFCON. Virtually no Ghanaian expected them to get to that extent, but they braved the odds and then surprised everyone. They changed us from doubters to believers. But I think that, like Yussif Basigi said about making sure that every available friendly window, we provide them with a chance to engage in friendly matches. I think it's one key area that the GFA plus the ministry should look at, especially in this time and period where almost the factions of the political parties are claiming they invested in the Black Queens. This is the opportune time for them to provide adequate preparation for them. But one key thing that we need not to escape us is the fact that in as much as we invest, we shouldn't expect instant glory. Because since 2018, Morocco has been investing and even hosting the WAFCON. They will be hosting the WAFCON for the third time in a row next year. They are yet to win any trophy, as in they are yet to win gold. But they have been investing. So it doesn't mean that if we start pushing in money and then maybe we upgrade the paycheck of the Black Queens, we are going to get instant glory, as we are going to win gold. No, it could even happen that from this bronze medal, even if we invest, they might not even reach the group stages. It doesn't mean we should stop investing. We need to continue. We need to continue in order to reap the benefits. Maybe not today, maybe not next year, but in subsequent years. Either than that, it will just be a stop-start situation, and we'll just dance around the glory that we have right now.
All right, thank you so much. I like these thoughts, that even when it doesn't work, we don't have to stop investing, and that's very true. I like that. In Ghana, we have the tendency to do that. We really have the tendency to do that. Oh, we invested and it didn't work, and then we'll sleep. Then now we realize that we didn't invest, so we don't invest, and then we go and fail more. Then it will take us 2 times or 3 times the effort to repair. You keep going. The investment is not for immediate success, it's for long term. This time we have bronze. Maybe we start investing, maybe the next tournament we may be kicked out quarters or group stage. It doesn't mean we should stop it. We keep going, because there are always things to learn. There are always lessons to learn. There are always new things happening. So once you are investing, there are those who have already taken the lead. Their investment will take them further than you. But your investment is to get you on the track, to get you to catch up, to see if you can catch up and overtake. So that's the lowdown. All right, 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. Give me a call. 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. What do you make of the Black Queens and all the things we have been saying about them? Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and why are you calling?
How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
This is your one and only brother. From the other side.
Emmanuel, what is it now?
And Nathan, the former sports minister, I hope he was in the chambers.
He was there yesterday.
And they give the money to the ladies in front of him.
I'm sure he was there when the money was being given.
So you see, this Abuti team came back from even them, they won't even the trophy, and they went around for funds. They told them that it's for the state, but they should bring the money. And this one is there. He also contributed to the money. You see, black man. You see, black man. You see, sometimes we do something in this country that is uncalled for. It's not good. They are British. I don't know Ghanaians.
They are Ghanaians.
You see, this hypocrisy and all these things, Charlie, it's not helping the country. You see, you do this to some people, and some people there you don't respect them, which is very bad. He also contributed because it's among of the minority in the chambers over there.
Yeah.
And I hope and I'm sure that he also contributed.
Yeah.
To the money. And so for some people, you say that they should bring their money because it's for the state. It's the black people for the state. Why is the minister not saying that they should bring the money?
After that one, I cannot tell why.
You see, some of this is if you say we are talking anytime. And for the ministers who were saying that the women have to earn more than the men.
No, they didn't say they should earn more. Some of them said they should.
No, they said they should earn the same amount of the money like the men.
And then one MP said he doesn't believe in equality. He's saying that we should give them something close to what the Black Stars earn.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one who was saying that they should be on the same amount as the Black Stars. You see, Minta. Some of this is they were in Parliament too. That man was his first time in the Parliament House. They were in power for 8 years. They couldn't even propose this thing. They go to opposition more. No, look at the politics. Look at politics. They use everything for politics. So even the money that they give, look at the minority leader. Put it on camera. We want everybody to see. Who does that? Can't you give the ladies money without even anybody knowing? That has to be really public. Everything politics. We take everything for politics. Everything we have to do politics for. Like I don't understand. And they should leave the coach to work. This one they have to go back to the work. They have to go back to work because there's no time for racing. Yeah, we are having just a few months for some qualifiers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no time to wait. They should leave the coach to do his work. No influence. They should leave the coaches to work. We don't want any influence. Oh, this is my player, take my player. Oh, this is my player, take my player. We don't want that.
Okay.
Just leave the coach to work.
Okay. All right. We'll allow that. Don't worry. We'll allow the coach to work. Emmanuel, thank you so much.
Yeah, leave the coach to work.
All right, Emmanuel.
You don't do everything politics. We beg.
All right, Emmanuel. Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a good morning.
All right, take care then. It's 30 minutes after 8. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. To wrap it up on the Black Queens, Kelvin, Doris Bredua put out a tweet yesterday. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So for our listeners, let me read out the tweet.
All right, sure.
She said, "Not my finest tournament, but still a memorable one. I'm grateful we managed to secure the bronze in my Alcon debut. I apologize to my fans for not quite living up to expectations. I know I'm capable of more, and I promise to bounce back stronger. To those who supported me through the ups and downs, thank you for your encouragement and prayers. Your words kept me going, and I'm honored to have such a loyal fan base. I'll be back, and next time I'll make sure to bring the goals." Then there's a black heart, Ghana flag, #DB10, a fist emoji, and I don't know what this one is. Yeah. So yeah, Doris Bedua says that I know she didn't score or she didn't give the goals, but next time she'll bring the goals. Well, I like that. At least she's owned up that it wasn't really the best performance from her. So next time she'll do better.
Well, Nathan, is good. It's impressive to hear that from her, Doris Wedua, to see that tweet from her, and I'm sure that people have spoken to her, and then they've let her know that she was quite a disappointment to many who thought she was going to be at top levels for this Black Queens team, but unfortunately she couldn't be at the peak of her powers. It happens at tournaments. The strikers you think that will lead the attack in 2008, everyone thought Asamoah Gyan was going to bang in the goals, in the country, but it had to take Junior Agogo to steal the shine. Asamoah nearly even left the Black Stars.
Yes.
It took the former president Kotoko to bring him back. At several tournaments, some other strikers have failed, but they come back strongly. Giroud did not score a goal at 2018, but in 2022 he was on target for some of the games that he played, and it clearly gives you an indication that yes, players would have failures, and the power is in you getting back to your very best. And once you identify and acknowledge that there was a fault, that is a part of the problem solved, because you now ask yourself, what do I need to do to get better to my very best, to produce quality and excitement for the fans who have always, showed class, supported me, and then had that faith in me. So, Doris, yes, we all were disappointed by your performance, but we just hope that you get stronger and better. And you heard Basigi, he mentioned something very critical, that it's quite difficult for the ladies who get injured to recover quickly.
That is true.
And you remember I said that some of our players who are injured, we should just focus on them. I just hope that that attention will be given them, and we allow the best of medical care and interest to some of the national team players. It's the reason why, the likes of France always have an interest in Kylian Mbappe and then Ousmane Dembele's fitness. Spain would always have an interest in Rodri's fitness and Lamine Yamal's fitness and whatever is happening with them at Barcelona and Real Madrid and Manchester City. England take particular interest in Harry Kane's progress and all that. And I just hope that we'll just keep an eye on the progression of these players and then, get them better for the next tournaments that will be played and the qualifiers that will be coming up. So it's good to know. And there's the monetary thing. Yes, it would always come up, but we just hope that they'll play and, achieve the levels where there may be a time that when you call for them to even get more than the men by virtue of, performance, they would even be up there and better. And when the time comes, we would all clamor for it and we will fight for them to, get whatever they deserve.
So that's the lowdown concerning the Black Queens. All right, to other things. There's the Africa Schools Games Championship, which is happening in Algeria. We'll see if we can get some updates from there. We are working the line to get in touch with our colleague journalist Gabriel Obu. We'll see if we can speak with him in a bit there. But Kelvin, I have breaking news for you.
What is it?
I have breaking news for you.
Tell me.
Bayern Munich have announced the signing of Luis Diaz.
that guy always wanted to move away from Liverpool. I don't know what is pushing him to get into, Munich to go and play for the Bavarians. But I think it was going to be a good signing. Jamal Musiala is injured. You look at Matthias Tel, who was expected to hit the ground running. He's not there. Serge Gnabry isn't producing the same numbers. Leroy Sané not as productive and efficient forward like, the others. So I think it was Michel Olise. So if you have Michael Olise, on the right, and then you have Diaz coming from the left-hand side. You have Harry Kane central. I think it solves a number of problems that Bayern were going through. At least you have, that you can have numbers from these three players and it can propel you to whichever target and then, glory that you want to achieve. Good for them and some cool money for Liverpool too. Now they can, go guns blazing at Alexander Isak in the final moment of, the transfer window to get him before the new season begins. And I think, yes, we are in for a very exciting season. Arsenal bolstering their attack, Manchester City reigniting their midfield and attacking options too. Liverpool have bolstered their attack. You look at Newcastle United, they are getting in players. Chelsea, yes, they've also bolstered the attack. 2 more players. Other players are expected to, maybe 1 or 2 expected to come in. So, we are in for a very good season and we like it in the town when all the teams strengthen up. We want to see it. Manchester United, Bournemouth and all the likes. You just wait to see how the new season will begin and how it is. So Bayern have their man. He's a good signing, good player for them, and we just hope that he hits the ground running.
Well, let's see how Liverpool will handle all of this. They didn't really shake their head at the transfer. Once Munich met their valuation, they were happy to do business. According to reports, the move is worth about £65 million. So Liverpool fans, how do you feel about Luis Diaz's exit? Bayern Munich fans, how do you feel about Luis Diaz's entrance? Scored 41 goals, including 13 in the Premier League last season. In 3.5 years at Liverpool, he played 148 times for the Reds, and he signed a deal that is taking him to 2029 at Bayern Munich. All right, let's go to Algeria. We've been joined by Gabriel Obu. Gabriel Obu is covering the African school games currently taking place in Algeria. Let's get updates on what's happening, especially with Team Ghana and what they are doing there. Gabriel, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Sporty FM. This is the Sporty Breakfast.
Good morning, Nathan, and welcome to Anaba, Algeria, for the African Maiden African School Games.
Wonderful. You are covering that. Team Ghana, can you give us some info on Team Ghana? How many athletes are there? What exactly would they be doing? And if they have taken part in any event, what was the outcome, or what were the outcomes of those events they have taken part in, if any at all?
Okay, thank you once again. Ghana came with 39 athletes with 12 sporting disciplines. That is swimming. We brought 3, cycling 1, boxing 4, basketball 3x3 4, badminton, judo, tennis, beach canoe, tennis, beach volley, taekwondo, and athletics. So these were the sports that we managed to bring here, and it was 39 athletes in all. The total contingent for Team Ghana was 60, and the competition actually started on 27th of July this month, and we've played so many games. And actually, the 3x3 tennis, so 3x3 basketball finished yesterday, and Ghana managed to secure a bronze. Our route to the bronze was quite straight. We won our first game. Second game, we lost to Rwanda. If we had won that game, we could have topped the group to meet Algeria in the quarters, but we couldn't. But when we met one of their favorites, that is South Sudan, it was a game that most of us thought it was going to be very difficult for our guys, but they made it very, very difficult for the Sudanese, and they scored them by 19-8. It was a total outstanding performance. So in the semis, they met the Gambians, and it was very, very close contest, 19-16 for the Gambians. So we couldn't proceed to fight for the gold medal, and we have to fight the host Algerians for the bronze medal, because that was the only hope that we could come back with. So, and it was another a very close match indeed, 16-14 against the host Algerians, and they have everything favoring them, the officials, the fans, everything favors them, but our guys stood up to finish the game. So they finished around 11:50 p.m. yesterday. So they came to the game village almost 1 a.m. It was very, very difficult for them, but they managed to get bronze from basketball 3x3 and table tennis. Michael Ejapon, he was in the finals against Madagascar opponent. He couldn't. He lost 4-0, so he has to fight for a bronze medal for the third place. So he also managed to win against the Tunisian Anas, and that was another bronze medal for Ghana. Badminton actually gave us the first medal. That was a team relay event. They've not presented that medal yet. They will do that one tomorrow, because tomorrow will be the last day for badminton, and they got the third place, so they will also give us another bronze medal. So in total, Ghana has confirmed 3 bronze medals. But when you go to boxing, we have 1 bronze medal. That is, we lost the semi-final bout yesterday against Egyptian opponents. It was very, very difficult to just accept that Ghana couldn't win that game, because looking at officiating, even the Egyptians are complaining. The officiating goes in favor of them, because they dominate in terms of judging the points. A panel will come, like, you fight against Algerian, and you see at least 3 of them there. So anytime they have to score, they go for their people, and that is one of the difficult things our guys are going through. And boys lightweight fight, our guy Richardson Ofori, 48 kg, he lost to Abdul Rahman from Egypt. It was a game or a bout that most people doubt, but since the decision came that he lost 5-0, he couldn't have done anything better. But in the boys' flight with 50 kg, William Lai from Ghana defeated Kunate Khalifa from Senegal. It was total dominance fight, 5-0. Not a single score that went in favor of the Senegalese, and he's into the final. So he will fight for good tomorrow against an Algerian opponent. Another very difficult. The moment you meet them in the final or any battle, it's either you knock them out or it will be very, very difficult for it because they've found a strategy to just move around. They will not allow you to touch them plenty. So the little touch, then it goes for them. So we have William Lai in the finals for the 50 kg boys lightweight, and the boys lightweight contest. Ablo William Rahman fought against Namibian Lake Macmillan. It was very, very close contest. Well, in the total score was 58-57. Ghana won 3-2 in the first round, and the second round, the Namibian also won 3-2. So the last bout has to decide, and it was just a 1 point difference. So our guys stayed through to the final. Bro William to the boys 50 kg lightweight. So it will also fight for a medal. So in boxing, this is what we have. But in badminton, our most of them are into the round of 16. Yesterday, Muslena Edu beat the Benin guy 21-10, 21-3. That is 2 sets, and they progress. Most of the badminton games are into the prelims and the round of 16. So they will finish everything by tomorrow. When you progress, you move to the next level, and some of them are into the quarters. And most of the games will also start from the first. Judo, tennis, athletics will all start from 1st of August. Currently, I'm at the venue where the beach canoe will go. Here is called Anita R Beach. That's where the beach canoe will also start, and that one will also start on the 1st of August. So far, we have 3 medals. If you check the medal and the performance of our athlete, I think is good. The most challenge, or most of the things that we are encountering that these too many people's mind is the accommodation or where we lodge. The girls and the boys are all sharing the same bathroom. A floor of 36 rooms containing 72 athletes, using just 4 toilets and 4 bathrooms. And it's very difficult, but you have to cope with it because you have no option just to accommodate what they have for us. So in total, I would say we are not doing bad. Most of our areas are yet to start. We are using 4 different cities. In fact, from Algiers to Annaba is 8 hours drive. When we go to Algiers, we got there around 11 a.m., close to 12. But they delayed us for about 5 hours before moving us here to the Annaba. It's 8 hours drive by road. They told us that we are plenty. They can't take us by flight, so we have to go by road. So that is the most challenging. And if initially, Algiers wasn't part of the city that hosting the event, but they later told us that no, tennis is going back to Algiers. So the guys have to move from here again for another 8 hours drive to that place. So now there's 5 cities are hosting this event: Constantine, Setif, Skeda, Annaba, and Algiers.
Okay.
So we are. The competition is spread across, so it makes it difficult to move from one city to the other because the intervals are very wide, 3 hours minimum. From here to maybe the next event or the next city is about 4-5 hours. So it's making it difficult, but most of the events are happening in Annaba.
So in terms of your movement, are the competition organizers the ones taking care of that? I mean, despite the distances, are they providing means for the various teams to move about in Algeria?
Yes, they have bus allocated for every venue, but they can't take you go beyond the city. And they've made it very difficult that once you are in this, like maybe I'm at the beach venue, if you want to move to maybe the basketball venue, it's impossible. You have to be there at the games village when it's time for maybe beach basketball or basketball, you move. The game we played yesterday was supposed to happen around 7 p.m. They left 4:45. Now guys returned almost 1 a.m. So I went to the boxing gym yesterday. We finished around 5. But moving back to where they play the basketball, it was a bit difficult. So I couldn't even move. The distance and traveling restriction is very difficult. And if you are having difficulty speaking their language, like French, that is the language most of them speak. Arabic, it becomes very difficult. Though they've given us volunteers who can sometimes assist, but they don't speak that deep. So they try to accommodate us. Initially, they didn't want us to. It's very difficult. They said security. They can't let you. You have to go with police escort. And what I've realized is that they don't have enough vehicles, so they are making good use of the fuel that they have. So they can't take just a team to a venue. You have to wait for other 3 countries or places to join you before you can move. So restriction is a bit difficult. So personally, how I want to work is making it very difficult for me. But trying with the other coaches at the other venues to compile my information.
I see. Just finally, Gabriel, what are the age ranges of the Ghanaian athletes? I mean, it's school games, so I imagine they are young, but how young are they? And I'm sure for a lot of them, this is their very first time experiencing such a competition outside Ghana.
Okay, the age range for this competition is between 14 to 17 years.
Okay.
14 to 17 years, but you could see some of the athletes from other countries. You imagine how can this person be 14 years? I met one Nigerian lady at the CAA African Athletics in Abeokuta last 2 weeks, and she is here competing again. She'll be competing in athletics, and most of them you could see. Other countries have brought like younger people, but others have taken advantage of age cheating. Because the guy who defeated our first boxer, you could see the guy is not in school, but you can't complain much. Most of the athletes, you could see 14 years to 17 years will not be doing those kind of things, but especially those from the East Africa and the Nigerians, you see most of them are over age.
Gabriel, those are very strong allegations you are making there. Saying that
there are some things you can easily detect, but you don't have a document or any factual to back it. But there are some things that you can easily detect. Maybe I may be wrong, but if you look at some of the Egyptians, look a bit, you could tell they brought maybe age range, but some of the other countries, it's very difficult to accept. But
you think that the athletes look far older than the ages that are allowed for this competition?
Yeah, it's true. I saw that one from the U18, U20 from Abeokuta, and those things are repeating. Some of the sports, those things occur a lot, but some are too obvious. But we have no concrete evidence
So you only suspect. Exactly. You have strong suspicions that something funny could be happening, but you don't have proof.
Yes, that is to put me on a safer side. I think.
Yeah, you just suspect.
Yes.
Okay.
But I think so far the competition is very, very. It's in progress, and one thing I like about the whole thing is they don't joke with their security. When we are even boarding the bus, they will count every country's rep, and when we are returning, they will make sure everyone is in before the bus moves. So for the security, top notch. Before you enter the games village, you go through security check, everything. So I think security is top notch. I don't know why they have this kind of like maybe you have to give them maximum security because athletes will not be allowed to move out of the games village.
Okay.
But yes, they've made it a bit easier for the officials to go out and buy something. But for athletes, no way they will not allow you to go out.
All right. Finally, Gabriel, so what does the rest of the competition look like for Team Ghana? Which other events are left and who are those in contention for possible medals?
For possible medals, okay, we have two. Maybe for the boxing, we are fighting for the color. We have medals already there. We are in two finals.
Okay.
50 and 60.
Okay.
So we'll be fighting for either gold. We are fighting for gold. Because if you lose, you get silver automatically. So we'll be fighting for gold, 2 gold tomorrow. And athletics, I have hope that what I saw in Abeokuta, 2 of the athletes will be competing. One will come with the president. There was one lady who got injured, so she couldn't join. So, but one of the guys who won silver in Abeokuta 400, Philip Uje, is here. And per what I saw, I believe if he puts extra energy, because he used that platform to maybe get more experience. So this will be his second international competition. So if he has any fear in competing against other countries, that one is gone. So he has to fight for gold here, because this will be, to me, this should be much easier than what we experienced in Nigeria. And Beat Canoe coach told me that maybe they will win us first gold. And athletics and judo, cycling, we competed yesterday, but our guy Mubarak Shaban placed 10 in the team time trial.
Okay.
So we couldn't go to the podium, and our swimmers, most of them qualified, but they couldn't win any medal. So for medal hopeful, I would say badminton. The coach told me before coming here that they win at least 6 medals, and they have 1 already. So let's hope the rest of the competition, so tomorrow, maybe they will add that number. And athletics, let's hope for the rest, because tennis yet to start, judo yet to start, and beach canoe yet to start. So we have at least 5 events that we are yet to start.
Okay. So finally, when are the games coming to an end?
Officially to come to an end on 4th.
Okay.
That is athletics. Usually athletics closes the ceremony. So athletics ends on 4th, and that will be the last day. Because they are starting from 1st to 4th. So that will be the last day of the event and the closing ceremony when we are done.
Okay. Gabriel,
on the calendar they said 26th to 5th.
Okay.
So maybe the final day will be the 5th will be the closing ceremony, but the main activities will finish on 4th.
Okay, Gabriel, thank you so much for giving us those updates. We'll keep in touch, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon for further updates and some more news on the progress of Team Ghana at the Africa Schools Games in Algeria.
Thank you for having me. And yes, I hope the next calling will be maybe updating on our medal table.
Of course, we'll do that. I'm sure the next time we speak, you have more medals for us. Thank you so much. Gabriel Obu is a Ghanaian sports journalist. He's in Algeria covering the African school games. Now, Ghana is taking part in 11 disciplines, as you heard: 3x3 basketball, badminton, table tennis, volleyball, swimming, cycling, boxing, and all. And Gabriel Obu had been giving us some more updates. I guess lots of people didn't know there's an African schools games happening in Algeria for athletes aged between 14 and 17. This is, for a lot of them, their very first big taste of a competition, and so this is where the seeds are sown. This is where they start to think about life as pro athletes, or this is where they get a good feel of the big stage and they get ready to take part in more of these as they grow older. Give you an update on Team Ghana and how they fare. All right, it's 8:41. It's 8:41. This is the Sporty Breakfast live on Sporty FM. Now, earlier this week, the Ghana Football Association announced the appointment of Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum as the new under-17 head coach. Now, Prosper Nate Ogum, we all know, he left his role at Kotoko in April, and then he gets this appointment, and he gets two jobs at a go. He is under-17 head coach, and he's the new head of coaching education. Now, if that sounds vaguely familiar, yes, that was Desmond Ofe's previous job before Ofe decided to look at, so he was straddling that in U20, and then Ofe was told to focus solely on the Black Stars. So Ofe's last stint with the U20s was the Wafubi Cup. That's done. Ghana finished third. And then you had Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum coming in to take charge of the under-17. Now, that team was previously held by Frimpong Manso, who had been with the team for a while, and now he decides to focus solely on BBN Gold Stars and their maiden CAF Champions League campaign, right? And the appointment of Dr. Ogum raised some eyebrows. Some people are asking why? Why is the GFA making such a decision? And so I've been joined by my colleague Godfred Akoto-Boafo, my senior colleague Godfred Akoto-Boafo. He has a strong interest in football at the grassroots level, at the developmental level. So I just want to get his thoughts on this appointment, what he thinks, whether it's a right fit or not, and what he thinks probably the GFA should have done or not have done in this situation that, you know, there's a new head coach for the U17s. Godfred, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing?
Well, Nathan. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Anyway, Godfred, your thoughts on this? I mean, I know you very well. Your interest at the lower level. I know that you've raised a few eyebrows concerning this appointment. What exactly do you not like? Or okay, let me put it this way: what are your own thoughts on Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum's appointment as the new coach of the national U17 team, the Black Starlets?
Well, it has nothing to do with Prosper Nate Ogum as a person. It has everything to do with, one, the duality of the roles he's been given, and two, the fact that we've had a lot of changes at this level, which makes it difficult to have a consistent plan of development. And that is my take on the matter. So for it, we've had in the past maybe 3 to 4 years, we've had Karim Zito, we've had Lai Kingston, we've had Coach Nana, we've had Coach Nana in an interim capacity, then we've had Frimpong Manso, and then we now have Prosper Nate Ogum. That's 5 at the developmental level. Even professional football teams don't change coaches as often as we change coaches at that particular age category, you know. And I think that it's also part of the reasons why we have struggled to basically develop talents and then transition the talents into the other age categories the way it's supposed to happen. So a bit more breakdown on why I raised questions about this. We have Frimpong Manso, who was appointed. I'll take it just from Frimpong Manso. When Frimpong Manso was appointed, he was in the middle of a title chase with BBN Gold Stars. everybody in the country knew performance was the middle of a title chase. And I'm sure Raymond raised that issue. You would have raised that issue. I raised that issue as to why that appointment at that time. Then 8 months after he wins the title, and we realize Frimpong Manso has to actually focus on his job, because Bibiani Gold Stars are going where? To Africa.
Yeah.
They require full-time attention. So we need to give the job to someone else. And I'm saying it speaks a bit to planning, because did we not know that he was in the middle of a title chase when we appointed him? Did we not know that he might have to actually pay attention to his everyday job? And that brings me again to this thing we've done with the 17s and the 20s. These days, we don't even do it as much with the 20s, but with the 17s, we always seem to give the 17s to somebody who has a club job. My thoughts on the 17 job is, because it's at the formative stage, it's equally as important or as difficult as the Black Stars job. Why? Because those are the formative years of a player who you expect to have enough talent to be able to make it to your senior national teams. By that I mean your 20, your 23, and then eventually the Black Stars, if the development holds true. So to have that kind of player at that level requires the player to have a certain kind of consistency in training, a certain consistency in mindset development. All these things are normally carried out by the person who does the development, which is why if we are to run a comparison, and you are very good at this, you would realize this, that a lot of the teams or countries that are very consistent at youth level all have coaches who've had the job for a decade. It is very rare to find any of the elite junior national team systems where the coach is not somebody who has been there for 5 years, 6 years. Let's take this current Spanish coach, for instance, De La Fuente.
Yeah.
He was appointed, was basically the entire current generation of Spanish footballers are his players. From which level? 17,
from U17.
All the.
And even before him, Godfred, when you look at Juan Santisteban, for example, he was Spanish under-17 coach from 1990 to 2008. So an entire generation, would come from him.
If you go to France, it's the same thing. There's a period, the person who's run their 17s has run it for years. So you would realize that a lot of the elite level countries tend to spend a lot of time with one person, because that is the person's specialty, and that person happens to be a top coach. So I just kept asking myself, why exactly is it that we can't seem to focus? And it's an area of particular importance to us, because if we look at the past decade or so, we have struggled to compete at that level. We have struggled to produce the kind of quality that is required to transition into the senior national teams, because we haven't paid consistent attention to that particular age band. And that was my concern with Nacho Ogum's appointment, not necessarily with the man. Again, the Manso has gone through a process. I visited 2 of the scouting sessions that Frimpong Manso organized. I spoke to Frimpong Manso when he was scouting. I went to the one at Alajo. I was at the one in Medina. He did, and the GFA invested a lot of money in making sure that Frimpong Manso was able to go to every region to organize 2-day scouting sessions. Pick players, bring them to Pam Pam. See if those players go back, do this, do that. So the question I was asking myself is, what these players that Frimpong Manso was scouting, he was scouting them with something in mind. He was looking at what he thinks would be the best fit. Now we have Prosper coming in. My thinking is Prosper also looks at development differently. He looks at player profiles differently. But I have been informed. Yesterday, somebody from Prosper's camp, Ogum's camp, reached out to me and said, "Look, Prosper has been in constant touch with Frimpong Manso since the plan was laid out, and so Prosper plans to continue." Frimpong Manso left off, which is good news if indeed he does do that, because we don't want a process where Prosper Najogun comes in, and we have to repeat the same cycle because we've done it before. Before Frimpong Mansu came, just the year prior, we had done national scouting. But Frimpong Mansu decided to do what? Go and scout his own players again. So I was comforted by the news from Prosper Najogun's camp that he intends to stick with the scouting that has been done by Frimpong Mansu and then move it from there. Now, again, in the duality of the roles that he's been given two very difficult jobs, which are particularly key to football development in Ghana. I just spoke about the under 17 one, which requires, I've explained to you why it requires full-time attention.
Yes.
And then coaching education, which also requires what?
Full-time attention, yes.
There's no way you can say you are director of, you can't say you are the vice chancellor of the University of Ghana, and then you have a dual role that basically splits the time that you can focus on overseeing the university. Coaching education at this particular moment in Ghana is key. If the GFA has spent, this particular administration has been very heavy on trying to improve coaching, which is why they've become very rigid on the licensing regime. Without a certain kind of licensing, you can't coach at a certain level. Without a certain kind of know-how, you can't do this. And as we, and I'm happy I'm having this conversation because you are a keen follower of coaching trends. It's one of the most dynamic bases in football. It's the basis of everything that happens in football.
That's true.
So it requires somebody who is constantly on the road, somebody who is constantly trying to figure out what is happening in Ghana, what are the coaching patterns. So for instance, at the end of last season, what did we see with the Ghana Premier League and coaching? What was the dominant? How do we improve this? What is the new generation? What are we teaching the new generation of coaches? Because this person is teaching development football. This person is planning professional football. There are so many aspects to this, and I don't see how that job is carried out in a part-time capacity, for want of a better word, or a capacity where the person is on the field coaching a junior national team that takes so much time, and also outlining and administering a curriculum for coaches. What time will you have to go and do assessments? For coaches, what time will you have to organize fora for coaches and say, let's have a conversation about what happened at the end of the Ghana Premier League season? For me, the jobs he has are just too big for him to be able to put together. Those are my sentiments on this. I think he's perfectly qualified to be director of coaching education. Yeah, I mean, he's overly qualified. The man teaches the university. You understand? So he's overly qualified to do that. But if that is what we want him to do and we want him to impact coaching, let him do just that. But to combine the two, I think, is a bit of a headache.
So, I mean, now that you've outlined all of this, I guess the GFA will not change their mind now, but what can be done going forward? Because I think you make solid points, and I completely agree with all the points you're making. Here you have two very important things: coaching education and developmental football. So what can be done going forward to ensure that we are on the right track and we can get it right going forward in terms of, one, developing coaches, and two, developing players from the base?
I think we need to find a way of splitting the two. This looks like saving cost to me. This looks like saving cost, and I don't buy it, because the GFA these days is a very wealthy Ghana Football Association. I think one thing Kurt and his administration have been able to do is to find ways of accessing different levels of FIFA funding for different things. What we need to do is to let the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and by that I mean the Ghana Football Association, needs to let the Ministry of Youth and Sports understand that the different bands of coaching in our national team setup, and it's a conversation we've had when you guys did your when we did the Save Ghana Football protest. Even part of the plans that were presented to to Parliament was the fact that all the national team jobs are supposed to be permanent jobs. so that people can focus on just that. So, for instance, if Nathan Kwao is being hired as under 17 coach, Nathan Kwao knows that he is paid X amount of money. He has a 2-year contract or a 3-year contract to do A, B, C, and D, so that the person just focuses on doing that. That is the only way to deal with this particular problem. I think that we've had this recycle and the dual focus attached simply because there is no money for the person who normally becomes under 17 coach or under 20 coach. Sometimes they can go for 6 months, they can go for a year, they haven't been paid simply because the resources to pay them are not there. But if we take this approach constantly and we are also expecting that quality footballers will be produced at the top tier, it's not going to happen. As for that one, it's not magic. It's not going to happen. So that is the best way to solve this problem, Nathan.
Godfred, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon. All right, that was Godfred Akotoko for speaking with us and sharing his thoughts on this appointment. Kelvin, you share similar sentiments. We were having conversations off air, and you were saying that you didn't quite understand what the GFA were trying to do with this appointment, and you even felt that even Dr. Ogum's his temperament and just looking at his body of work, it may not really sync with trying to coach players who are 15, 16, 17 max. Or 15, 16. You can't be 17 and play for under 17. So 15, 16.
You need lots of patience at this level, you know. When you're coaching under 17, you know, somebody of blessed memory will tell you, they are going to behave like, you know,
like their ages.
You know, like their ages. And then if they are going to, all of them are going to be like Balotelli, like Jermaine Penan, like Jibril Cissé, like Elijah Jew, like Bernard Dombote,
disruptive characters.
You know, like Jackson Owusu put together. It is your job to manage that other side of their lifestyle and their attitude and bring the best out of them. That makes that work quite difficult. If you're a teacher and you're in a class, you know, there's this particular guy, talkative, but you put the work there, the person scores. With that, how do you do it? You just manage and get the best out of it. But are we sure Ogum can probably see that light and do same for these guys by virtue of what we've seen from him in other sides, in other jurisdictions?
Yes.
Amankona, troublesome character. Very troublesome character. He couldn't deal with him. Emmanuel Entry had issues because that guy has to be like, he's the kind of player who needs like pampering. You know, like the Jadon Sancho, the talent is there.
Yeah.
You just realize this guy is exceptional, but he needs that sort of pampering. I just don't know one player. Maybe someone like Eric Cantona. How do you get the best out of Cantona? Because of its attitude, you pull him away. Diego Costa.
Yeah.
How do you deal with, you know, that figure, Gattuso? So that is how kids are going to behave. Some of them wouldn't even want to put in their best at training because at that age they would want to enjoy football the way they see it.
Yes.
But you have to teach them gradually why their mentality should be a bit, you know, progressive from that stage where they just want to play and then enjoy football. But you ask yourself, is Doctor ready to take his time, be calm, and do that? How long has he even been in charge of, you know, footballers at this level?
Yeah.
It's not easy like that for you to move from that end to the other side, to move from, you know, high top level footballers who train at that, where you don't teach them the basics. Under 17, you may pick a player who has the talent, but you are now coming to teach the player positioning and passing. Ibrahim Tanko will tell you, even at senior level, Black Galaxies, he was teaching Patrick Razak positioning. And he was struggling to get it. At this level, would he have the patience? Would he have the time? Would he have that calmness to teach players?
This is Sporty FM, the voice of...
Especially when he wasn't able to work with certain, you know, players who felt, come on, who were too big, we had to play, and I just hope, just like Godfred is saying, all of us, it has nothing to do with his personality, his knowledge, but the work that he has done is what is speaking for him. Will he be able to handle that? See, it's the same way that Samade. Remember when was it Samade or Malik Jaber who dropped Suleiman Dai? I think it was Samade. You know, you just need coaches like that who will be bold. The likes of Nana Frani to tell you, come on, this is how you need to behave. Other than that, it will never work. It will never, ever work. Someone like Sadek Adams. Polak will tell you, Sadek Adams and Jackson Owusu in my team. Troublesome people. But what do you do to get the best out of them? You just need to treat them like they are kids. You know, it's the same thing as entry that we were talking about. And it's the same thing you're going to find with these kids. Some of these kids don't care. They're playing the football for the fun of it. They are not looking progressively. So it is going to become your job. And just as you were saying, just as Godfred said, I think the FA is taking too many decisions at a time that I feel is not progressive. Like I mentioned yesterday, if we have under 15 and under 16 coaches, why are we not progressing them to that level? De La Fuente moved, one step at another. Yep. Look at what happened to Senegal and the team that managed to win the AFCON for them. Aliou Cisse made that progression.
Yes. Gradually. It was their third attempt.
Exactly.
Under Aliou Cisse.
Gradually, he moved from the lower levels and he got up there and he managed to succeed. Why are we not doing same? Or we think we don't trust the likes of Odate to mold our talent? Where is Nana Kwekwajeman? He was part of the team. Right? Yep. Who was Frimpong Mansour's assistant? Then.
Yeah, I think those two were Nana Kwekwajeman and Jacob Neti.
Nana Kwekwajeman is fairly qualified. He has the license. Why are we moving away? We don't trust Nana Kwekwajeman. Why don't we allow him to continue and then bring maybe another assistant to form so that it become two assistants? I was even thinking about this Fifi Parker Hansen who has just moved on to do. Why don't you move Nana as head coach? Bring Parker Hansen. You look at the mode, the style of football, his lats play. You look at his temperament on the touchline. He was such so.
So you would have preferred Nana Kwekwajeman say as head
less, and then bring another, and then keep Jacob Neti. Bring on maybe another person, which preferably I think that Parker Hansen, by virtue of what he showed with Golden Kick and what they gave us, the brand of football, is the reason why Dreams have just snapped him. Why? Why do you think Dreams have quickly snapped him? Because they see his talent, they see his quality, which was evident. You and I watched the MTN FA Cup final. They dominated Kotoko, left, right, center, everywhere. We just hope they know what they are doing, and then we'll have success for it. At this level, we are not playing to stress on victory like the Black Stars. They are not stressing. We are not stressing on that. We are looking at development. We are looking at progression. And I think that there are better people who can handle talent. Ask yourself, has Ogun been in the development cycle of footballers for close to 5 years?
You make a point about Nana Kwekwajeman. I actually think that he would have been a perfect fit.
Yes.
Because I think a large chunk of his coaching career was spent handling kids. Right? Remember his project, Progen.
Yeah.
Progen.
Exactly.
Yes. So a large part of his career has been spent at that level, handling kids. So I think that in hindsight, you are totally right. Nana Kwekwajeman would have been a very, very good fit.
Thank you.
In terms of knowledge of the area, skill, competence, and maybe you can add Fifi Parker Hansen if
exactly.
you like.
And the experience in handling the guys because he was with for continuity.
Yeah, of course, for continuity.
You don't break it. So whatever.
So you keep Ogum as head of coaching education. Great, exactly. Because he's very qualified for that role.
Yes, whatever Frimpong Mansour was doing, Nana Kwekwajeman was very much aware of it. Yes. So it wouldn't be difficult for him to continue building on the blocks that have already been laid. Why?
It's true. Continuity is key.
But
continuity is very
exactly.
key.
But why have you?
Yeah, because at this level, and you're right. Godfrey was right. And when you just check the record, all the teams that seem to do well at this level have coaches who have been there for years.
Mm-hmm.
So you have the same person graduating players coming through. If he's moved up to the next level, he takes the players along. It's the same thing. You don't break the chain. So the De La Fuente example is there. Even Juan Santisteban, he even moved on to coach Spain's under 21 and all. So I'd really love to understand why the Ogum appointment, especially at the under 17 part. That's for the head of coaching education. I think he's a good fit. He's a brilliant fit for that role. The man teaches anyway. And I think that he can, in terms of like the academics of it, I think he's a wonderful fit. I wonder though, this part of the U17, I'm not sure. Immortal. Point of interest.
Yeah, Nathan, point of interest. We are missing something.
What are we missing?
Apart from the Black Stars and now the Black Queens head coach, none of the coaches are being paid. They don't have contracts that every month they will receive $5,000, $10,000, $7,000. So if you are an Akwa and you have a contract at Vision FC and they are paying you, will you leave and come and do this? I remember Coach Parkwest Fabian granted an interview and said he's not being paid. He can make money with the under 17 by probably, in quotes, taking money from the managers and push players in. Reason why sometimes we will say, a certain players are being called from a certain direction. It is not because they are favoring some clubs. It's because the managers of the players and the teams, they are doing their work well. Because
we're doing their work well.
Yes, meaning if you are not paying the coach, how will the coach survive? They have kids, they have wife, they have other responsibilities. So if you're not paying them, this will continue. Yes, Karim Zito was there. He got to a point, Dream Chelsea wanted him, and he moved to go and help Dream Chelsea for the African campaign. And then now he's with Kumasi Asante Kotoko because they are paying him well. You're not paying him over here. It's not a philanthropic job.
No,
they have to be paid.
Immortal, we
so
understand.
let's direct everything to government.
Government has to pay them.
Government, who is the owner of the national teams?
That is a fact. You see,
for them to be able to give the coaches contract with a certain amount of payment to be given to them.
Yes.
To solve everything. If you fail to do that, we will keep changing them. Ogun will come. He will try to do something or try to build a team. We'll get to a point. Maybe Housefolk need him. They will go for him. He will leave because Housefolk will give him better money than to sit at Satellite or Starlet or any other national team.
I agree with you on
that. Is the point
on government paying which is true. But you see, so government will pay the coaches. Wonderful. I think that what we are looking at, or I think what it is we want from the under 17, that secret lies in the hands of the FA. You get my point. So government will pay. I think the FA can make an argument to government and say that, you know what?
Well, we said they've not made the argument. They have been making the argument. Frimpong Manson has been doing well for past 1 year.
His job, he was confirmed earlier this year, January 2025.
Yes. So now his team,
Gold Stars,
they are paying him well. Remember, Gold Stars is a corporate entity. They have gold. They deal with gold. They have money. They are telling him that, hey, chairman, we are going to Africa. Stop this under 17, which is not giving you anything.
But why should it be so?
Come and work with us. If you want to work with us, do this and get your money. And he has seen everything. He's not getting anything here. He has chosen the club over the national team.
You can't. I don't blame him.
You think that if it was to be a CEO or governor of Bank of Ghana, he will leave governor of Bank of Ghana and go to Go Stars. He will not. Yes, because the money is here. I don't know. The next time me and you we are here because of money.
You see, I understand, Immortal. That is true. But we are also saying that away from the money that the individual has to get, we are doing this thing because we want to. We say we want to grow football, right?
Yeah.
We want to develop football. It is true. People have to get paid, but all of us, aside from getting the money, there's a certain job we have to do. The job is developing footballers because all of us agree that under 17 is a very important part of the football development. So I agree with you on government having to pay the coaches. The reason why I mentioned the GFA's name is that I think, okay, you are saying maybe they've been making the argument.
They have. Government and me and you were in this business for a very long time. They have. Let's make it. They have been engaging Minister of Youth and Sports and all the necessary entities.
Sporty FM.
They know government is reluctant. A typical example is your Madam Noah. Noah left because of this. We were not getting him.
We were not getting her friendly matches.
Yes.
We didn't want to
get her friendly matches and co. The extra money was not going.
And the government said we won't pay.
Yeah, we won't pay. Because was GFA, they were paying. So they decided that okay, we cannot continue doing this. You have to leave. So if you know it's not the FA, that was why yesterday we were saying that when they say they made the debate attempt for Queens to be doing well, it's part because government says I cannot pay you. They were, if you remember, 2015 when Yussif Basigi won the African Games, they were at M Plaza Hotel.
Yes,
they said there for like 2 weeks. They said they will not leave.
They won't leave. Yeah,
they said they will not leave until government said who to pay them. They will not leave. Others went to the Ministry of Youth and Sport. They went and sat there and said, no, we have to pay us. I remember Princesses and co. They went and sat there. They have to pay us before we leave. So we pretend as if we are doing the sports.
But we are not.
I was happy when President mentioned yesterday that he's committed and he has pledged he will do this. But you know what? Action has always proven that words has no meaning. So if we are not pretending that we are doing sports, we'll wait until we've won something that will come and do. How did they say it? Looking face, we'll come and do this, and then we'll collect funds, and that is all. We have to go beyond that. Everything is money. If you don't have money, Charlie,
forget about it. So the FA know they don't have money, and they've appointed coaches under 15, under 16, under 17, under 18, under 19, under 20, under 21, so under 23. But wait. So if you don't have money, and you have a coach for under 15, under 16, and you have a coach for under 17, and then he has left, what do you need to do? Because is it not the same under 15 players? It's not about the money thing we are talking about. Because once those coaches have accepted to be with under 15, under 16, which you made that appointment, they are the same players you are progressing to under 17.
Good.
Why don't you allow or move one of the coaches? Say, fine, or that you are with under 16, which means that by the next year, all these 16s or all these 15s will be like 16 and they'll be valid for under 17. So just make that progression and transition. Go and work with Nana Kwajiman as assistant and or Jacob Neti so that Nana Kwajiman leaves. If Kwajiman is also not willing or is in a situation like what Frimpong Manson is in, then Odate takes over because Jacob Neti's license will not allow him to be up there. Just let Odate take over or take charge or push your Preko from under 15, and then we see that continuity. That is all what we are talking about. It's not about money or anything. Immortal.
It's a valid point. It's a valid point.
Whatever you are talking about, there are coaches who have worked, they were not earning money. Otoado worked for months. He didn't have money. People did not know that, but he was delivering, wasn't he?
Good. You are right.
After the failure, it was so. That is all what we are talking about. The fact that you don't have money doesn't mean that you just make any appointment. Unis can't and wako Lisa Tank Palace.
We cannot.
No. If you don't have money, will you go to Tank Palace for dinner?
No.
Thank you.
Don't do that.
You walk to railways and you go and buy watch there.
Yeah, because where I can go.
Thank you. That is all what we are saying.
I'm saying that. I'm not
all what we are
I'm not
saying.
disputing what we are saying. No. When I came, I said what we are also not looking at.
We have looked at all those.
Yes, it's the money aspect.
The money comes. The money comes last in this.
Yes, if you
the
are
money
committed,
comes last in this.
Yes, if you are committed, as president said, I'm going to be committed to you, or I'm committed to you. I've pledged A, B, C, D. You will do what is right. So what is right? What are we talking about? We are talking about give contract to the coaches, pay them like other sectors. When you go to energy sector, we have MPA, we have BOST, we have whatever. They are being paid. The same thing applies to the sports. That's why we have agencies. Just do what is right and expect it, so that you can expect the same results from them. If you do it, there's a gun word. I wanted to use it. Kurt used it when it was when Tiga Akono left. Matramakwe. When we do Matramakwe, we will get Matramakwe results. When we do it anyhow. Who gets anyhow?
Are they not doing it anyhow?
Yes, we'll get it.
But that's why we
are they not doing it? Are they not doing it anyhow?
Because there's no money to push it. What do you do?
Immortal. You see, I understand. But the point is that, you see, there are two parts to this argument. The money part. But there's also...
The money is essential.
See,
if our microphones are not working. Some few minutes ago, you mentioned some... You read some messages and said, they tune in. They are complaining that... Then within 1 minute, has done everything because the money is there. He was able to push it and get good internet. If we don't have good internet, how can we do a proper show?
Immortal. But we also need to look at this other side, the mechanics. And that's what Kelvin is saying. That's what our senior Godfrey said. That there are things that have to, practical things. So, for example, we have under 15, under 16, and under 17. Why are we not linking all of these?
Oh, the link is there. When you move him, when you move the
because before Manso is no longer
when you move the under 15 coach to an assistant, let's say they are going with the players together.
Yes.
Who takes over the under 15 again? You have to go and get someone.
Kotoko Danso is there.
Or if you like,
Kotoko Danso is for school. So put him there.
If you like, relax.
So put him.
So fine. So now there is no tournament.
Pay them.
There's fine. Nathan, there is no tournament for what under 15s and what
now.
Yes. So what do you do? What do you do? As simple as that. Push the coaches there, and then they take charge.
At the moment, they are doing their preseason.
No, Yapreko. What is Yapreko doing?
Oh yeah, Yapreko is doing the under 15, the normal under 15.
What are they doing currently?
Oh, he's going around to pick players.
So what is Odate doing currently?
He's under 16.
Golamb Academy. Remember?
No, he's under 16. What is he doing currently?
He was also going around to pick players.
What
and work at his Golamb Soccer Academy.
So very well. So but you've appointed me. He's accepted. It's not like he said he won't do it. So now there is an immediate.
Yes, but there's no contract. There's no money. So
And have they told you that they will not do the work?
Oh no, they've not said that.
Very good. So that is Likasli. England did something recently. When they did not have, when Southgate left, who took charge of the team? Thank you. Wait. Immortal, wait.
When you move us from our terrain to different terrain.
Immortal, what are you talking about?
When you compare.
But you people say we are doing the same football that the others are doing. So what are you saying? It's the same FA who have been promulgating they are doing the same football.
Like us.
So don't defend. I don't.
When you compare Ghana Premier League to EPL.
Then
we cannot compare Ghana Premier League
Immortal,
to EPL.
if you don't want to.
Premier League, our standard is Nigerian Premier League, Tanzania. Sometimes we
so don't complain about the Black Queen's performance again.
Oh, I'm not complaining about Black Queen's performance.
Don't complain about anybody's performance again.
What I said about Black Queen's.
Immortal. What we are saying is, if Likasli, when Southgate left, he was just brought to handle the senior team. When they got a coach, what did he do?
He went back.
He went back. As simple as that.
Good.
Why did they bring him? Because he had handled most of the guys at youth level, under 21. He moved from under 19, gradually making that progression. Just when they got Thomas Tuchel, he's back. He's back with his team, and he's worked with them. It's the same thing. There is a gap now. So who is the best person now for continuity?
Yeah, the best person now is Prosper Natogum. Prosper Natogum, the doctor.
Nobody
disputes the
under
fact.
17.
Yes, he will do it.
If you say the Immortal, I disagree with you.
Okay, you can disagree with me, but
I'm saying that
at the moment,
if it comes to coaching education, Prosper is brilliant for that job. He's even overqualified for that job. But you 17, I don't think so.
Okay, so let's wait. He has taken over. Let's see.
Maybe it will work. I just think that looking at his body of work, I think he would be far more suited to coaching education.
Maybe now he has learnt a lot, in terms of player management.
Probably
when he went to Wafa, he went to Wafa, we didn't hear anything like what we heard at Kotoko.
But you see, when he went to Wafa, the Wafa structure already exists. And if you ask me, the person who can do this job, Kelvin, the person who can do this job is the person at Wafa, Sadiq. But
Sadiq
Wafa,
and the one Prosper took to Kotoko Imoro.
Yeah. But they won't. Wafa will not give you Sadiq.
Exactly.
They won't.
Exactly.
Or
if you give him big money, like maybe you are giving him $30,000, $40,000, he will come and coach.
Even that. But you see, Nana Kwekwajiman is in the mix somewhere. But he has a job at Vision, and like you're saying, yes. he won't.
All of them because they don't have
contracts. But are they not the same? Are they not the same coaches?
This is a Tunwache.
Wait. Is Nana Kwekwajiman not the same coach who has been working with do I say Frimpong Manson?
Yeah.
Wasn't he the same person working with Lai?
Yeah, he worked with Lai.
So what is the problem? He was still working
with Lai.
But with Frimpong Manson, he was still at Vision.
Yeah, he was still at Vision.
So why can't you just put him as head coach?
No, but now he cannot be head coach and then go and.
But he was assistant.
Yes,
he was assistant
once a while.
As for assistant once. What is once a while? Do you know what assistant coaches are attached to?
I know, but Ghana.
Immortal.
Oh, Calvin. We are here when. Jay Sapon said, "Well, some coach
So fine. That is the thought of Shapiro. But if you want us to practice, yes, I know. If you want us to practice the best ways where our teams will not have, that sort of disparity.
We need permanent people handling all these things.
Exactly.
I get Immortal's point.
It's
on
money.
The money part. Immortal, it is true.
Money solves
all. The other thing we need, right, is to now think about, because Kelvin, do you know what is causing all of this? The coaching pool is small. And it's because maybe we haven't organized enough of the courses for them to increase the pool. Oh. But then in increasing the pool, then comes your point.
Yes, so
the increasing the pool means that once they all graduate, we need to find jobs for them.
Nathan.
And then we pay them.
Nathan, those days when we're doing radio and we were not getting money, but we want to talk on radio. They say, this time because we have a lot of responsibilities to do. Now we need money.
That's true.
Yes, so it's money.
So all of us are addressing several parts of the problem.
Exactly.
You are saying the money part.
Yes.
If we make money available,
that is essential.
We'll get coaches.
Where money is, money stops all
things. Immortal. Oh man. So that's our lead producer, Immortal. He believes that money can solve all of this. It is true to an extent. But Kelvin and I and Godfred and lots of other people seem to think that we need to think about the appointments and make the wise decisions in terms of who do we have. Kelvin, that's why I think that we need to think critically about producing more coaches or getting more coaches with the required licenses. Because if we had the pool and we had the money, as Immortal said, then we can say that, okay, you, Coach X, we are giving you a 3-year mandate to handle under 17. You, 3 years, under 16, under 15. And then we can draw the linkage between 15, 16, 17. But I agree with you, Kelvin, on this point of all these people around, like, for example, Kweku Danso, Yaprekun, Udate Lamte. Yeah, I mean, they are doing? Yes, 15, 16. It's logical to move them to 17.
Exactly.
It's very logical.
Simple.
To move them to 17.
Just move them.
Move them to 17. And then you can put Prosper at head of coaching education. But let's see. I mean, as Godfred told us, the communication from Prosper's camp is that he's in the know. He's very aware of all the work Frimpong Manso has done. Wonderful. Let's hope he builds on that. And I hope he can also make an argument to the FA in his capacity as head of coaching education, so he can make the argument that we need to have permanent coaches at those levels, so the education of the players is seamless and continuous. We've seen what others can do. Juan Santisteban, De La Fuente. And I was checking out the list of players that De La Fuente had worked with at U21 level. Listeners, let me give you the list of the players De La Fuente worked with at U21 level and the players, how he's moved them on, right? Mikel Merino, Dani Olmo, Mikel Olayarzabal, Fabian Ruiz, and Unai Simon. All of them won the European Under-21 title with Juan de la Fuente.
Yeah.
And he's working with them at the Spanish national team. So clearly when they play, there's already an understanding. The style is not different. The principles are the same. So it is easier when you watch Spain, it is easier for them to gel and to understand what they are doing because there's continuity of coaching, continuity of principles.
Sporty FM.
Continuity of coaching and continuity of principles. Now, De La Fuente's background is in youth setup, and he says he likes to work with coaches familiar, players familiar to him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like high maintenance. So, which means that, you see, that's what I'm saying. The ideology is there. So he coached U19, U21. He's coached them at an Olympics. He's coaching them at senior team. So once it runs through, once you get to the senior national team level, there's no difference in what you are doing. It's the same style, same principle. And then you proceed from there. The other day, Kelvin talked about the Spanish national. And so when you watch the Spanish national team, the women's, when you watch do they look different from the men's team? No. Same principle. Same principle. You know, I don't know what it is we want to do. What it is we want to do. What it is we want to do. We need to rethink. As we are talking about coaches, we need to rethink the structure of what we are doing. Right? This current structure. 15, this U15, U15, U17, U19, U20. Because in these bands, it's only U17 that have competitions and U20. U23s play once every 4 years. You understand? Once every 4 years. So, I don't know. That's what I'm saying, that we need to find a linkage. How are we linking U15, U16 to U17? Meaning that by the time we have a U17 team, it should virtually be the same players who have gone from U15 to U16 to U17. And then a large part of that crop will go to U19 or under, I think these days we have under 18.
Yeah.
Then under 19, then under 20. Then that's when, you know, because under 18, how many tournaments do they play? None. Under 19, we don't play under 19 in Africa. In Europe, they play under 19. They play under 21. But even that, we know there is a peculiar way it works. It works in a very unique way. By the time somebody plays the Euro under 21, he's 22 or 23. But when he started, he was below 21. So you are locked in till the end. And then they transition. Globally, under 23 is only playing the Olympics. How many countries even qualify to the Olympics? 24 countries, if you like. And then they move on to the senior team. So I think that we need to think about these ones very carefully. If we say we want to do it, we need to get the linkages right. The right coaches at the right levels. And the DNA, you see, then at the bottom of all of this is the DNA that should run through.
Yes. Even Otuado says he doesn't know of any DNA. So you people, whatever we are doing at the junior levels, Otuado will not apply it at the senior level. He tells us he doesn't know of any national football philosophy. He doesn't know of any DNA.
But to be fair, Kelvin, the DNA I came in not too long, so I can pardon.
But it came before Otto came.
Yes, true.
It came over a year before Otto came. So it clearly tells you that the appointment that we made, of Otto, we did not consider our DNA and whether Otto understood and was going to play, or do I say have a plan that would suit the black stars. No, but so that it would accommodate that philosophy that had been gathered
the players
over
in the current
years.
Black Stars team, they are very foreign to the DNA. When they got the DNA didn't exist when they were younger. So it almost like at that level, in our case, for the next few years, they will play a different brand of football.
But I'm not sure it has changed. When Desmond Ofer got into the team, we also how the team started to play again. More possessive, you know, they aggro. Using an Nyama as number 10.
Fair point. It is true.
You get it? Yes.
It is true. It is true. It is true. It is true.
So yeah, it's quite interesting. But we just wait to see what will happen. But yes, Kotoko and Michael Asariwodu enjoying in South Africa, you know. But Kotoko Michael will be joining us. He's enjoying the sun in South Africa. Yes, and I'm sure that. He would love to wave in on this. You just ask him. Yes,
okay. I'll
ask him, and then before we get to the issues of Asante Kotoko.
Michael Asariwodu is joined us. He's still in the Rainbow Nation. Michael, how are you doing?
Well, I'm good, Nathan.
You look really good. You are enjoying yourself in South Africa. The boys here are alleging all kinds of things, but I'll not. This is not where I'll ask you this. We'll ask you this away from the public eye. They are accusing you of enjoying the goodies alone. But anyway, let us proceed. Let's proceed. Before we get to Asante Kotoko, though, Michael, our very good friend Prosper Nate Ogum is new under-17 head coach, and he's been made coach or the head of coaching education. Your thoughts on that? Some people seem to think that he may not be a good fit for U17, but he's brilliant for the other job, which is head of coaching education. What do you make of the appointment? You seem to know Prosper Nate Ogum really well. What do you make of the appointment? One hand U17 head coach, and the other hand the head of coaching education in Ghana.
Well, I think this is definitely an appointment that was heavily influenced by Professor J.K. Minta. He knows Prosper Ogum very well. They actually work together for the hyper department at the University of Cape Coast. And so I think Professor Minta is a fan of the football brain possessed by Prosper Nate Ogum, and that will heavily weigh on those who took this decision to bring Ogum on board. And you see, for coaching education, let me start with that. I think very few coaches here in the country can match up to what Ogum has to offer theoretically. He has not really achieved that much in terms of applying the knowledge that he has. So in practical terms, I think that the only success he's enjoyed in his coaching career, which is tangible enough, will be winning the league with Asante Kotoko. And that is just that. Elmina Sharks, at Karela, at Wafa, they were actually projects that he ran that had to do much more with development, and also the status of those clubs meant that Ogum wouldn't have been in a position to consistently challenge for the top trophies on the domestic front. So I think for the knowledge aspect, in terms of training coaches, in terms of forming ideologies, in terms of coming up with some of the more modern and best practices in the coaching sector, he fits in quite nicely. He's able to do a solid job at that. There are several theses and research works he's done, which has been well appreciated by international institutions. So I will actually rubber stamp his appointment as head of coaching education. And he will go there to replace, or he will go there to work in a department that also has Professor J.K. Minta, who has served in that capacity before, and with Ogum being his mentee, because Professor Minta is a mentor of Ogum, he will likely have a smooth transition into this role, and then I think he will do a solid job at that. That aside, he will also play a role that Desmond Ofer has played in some time past in that same department. So I think that he will be well at home, and he should not struggle to settle in this contest. Now, my issue has to do with how he will handle the national under-17 side, and I say this because Ogum is excellent as a human being, but as a coach, he has his way of doing things. His methods are not well appreciated by, let's say, the masses, because they feel there are times where he's too strict, there are times where he appears to be too bookish, and people have issues with that. He is a principled person. He will love things to be done in a way where it follows the books, it follows the principles. He will barely bend the rules or amend his way of doing things just to ensure that a player feels okay. He feels that if you want to play professionally, if you want to get to a certain level, then you should follow religiously what has been captured in the books. And that is where most at times it gets to situations where there are issues between him and a section of a playing body. So I think if he's able to manage that aspect very well, trust me, he's a good coach who can do a solid job. One concern will have to be the process of selecting players into the national team, because I think in his last spell at Asante Kotoko, one thing that people blamed him for was that most of the players he scouted and brought into the side were not really up to the standard required. And we all know that one issue that has bedeviled the national team coaches, I'm talking about the age limit national team coaches, the U17s, the U20s, has always been about not as having an extensive network to scout and bring the best of talent from the country. And as such, those national sides having players who are selected from a limited group of clubs, and that is actually the problem. So Ogum having this issue that he's not really good at scouting for the best talents to meet the standards, and then walking into an environment that is bedeviled with this issue, I think that he might not be able to solve it. He might have issues with selecting the best crop of under-17 talents to do the job for us. And he's going in to replace Frimpong Manson. And Frimpong Manson is actually someone I followed during his under-17 spell, where he went across the nation to look for talent and everything. So I don't know if Ogum is going to be a continuation of the project that was started by Frimpong Manson, where he's going to collapse everything and is going to start anew. But in terms of the coaching, I think he can do it. My issue will be about the selection of players, and I pray and hope that he does not encounter any challenge that would actually impact on his work as a national under-17 boss. So it's in two parts. As the head of coaching education, I rubber stamp it. It is the best. Theoretically, he's there, and he can bring on board some of the best strategies and practices. He can put together some of the best documentary work to ensure that there will be a reference point for coaches who need document to study in terms of bettering their coaching careers. And then for the national under-17 side, let's say I'm less too optimistic about it. Let me say it that way.
Okay, we'll see how that plays out. Thanks for that. Let's talk about Asante Kotoko. They played in the Toyota Cup. This was on Saturday. You ran commentary from the Moses Mabhida. First of all, let me just get your take on the experience. How was the Moses Mabhida? How was it like there, being in the ground as big as the Mabhida? Very different to what we have here. How was it like for you, seeing all the things you witnessed? And then we'll talk a bit about the game itself and what Kotoko want to take away from this.
So for context, the Moses Mabhida is not the best stadium in South Africa, but it is better than any sporting facility in Ghana.
And it is not the best in South Africa.
No, it is not the best in South Africa, but it is way, way better. I would say 300% better than any sporting facility in Ghana.
Interesting. Then,
and even when we went there, they were doing their renovation works ahead of a new season. You know, the new PSL season starts in like 2 or 3 weeks. And so they were doing renovation works just to meet the club licensing requirements. But even in the states we found the facility in, trust me, it is like a newly renovated stadium in Ghana. that is a fact. And serious, almost. You see, I actually want to find the perfect description for it, but it was fit for purpose, and it will stage an international game, let's say a CAF category 4 or 3 game in Ghana. It will do it simply, easily, because it has everything that CAF requires. Let's start with the security arrangement. So the entrance is fit for purpose, and then the area where the buses have to park, so the players climb off the bus and then enter their dressing rooms. It meets modern standards. And this is a stadium that was put in shape for the World Cup 2010. But regular maintenance, I've always seen that the facility will be upgraded year after year so that it measures up to the international standards. And so the dressing rooms, the lobbies, and everything solid. You climb the stairs to the respective stands, or you can use the lift or the elevator. It is working and fully functioning. There are security guards and protocol officers around who will assist you to find your way to where you are supposed to be. And they are just doing their job properly as professionals, always available to offer a helping hand. That aside, you look around the stadium, very kept in a well clean environment. Everything looks very kempt, and I just say that the entire stadium architecture allows you to come there, feel safe, secure, and comfortable to do your job. I did not spend much time in the stands, so I wouldn't want to go all over it and then just tell you what I saw. But the seating was clean. The seats were well cleaned before we entered. We went there quite earlier. And then again, there were stewards who were stationed in the various stands and seating areas just to show you where you're supposed to sit and what you're supposed to do. Then there is a stadium guide, like a tour guide or security guide, and they had their own uniforms, and they will also usher you to the various places. Now, the washing rooms for where the spectators would have to use, I dare say that it is akin to where the VIPs use when they visit the various stadia in Ghana. That is for the spectators. That is for the spectators. It is where the VIPs will use when they visit the Ghanaian sports facilities. And if you come to the media sector, where the media are supposed to be, where CAF and the FIFA calls it the media tribune. So they have a media lounge. The media lounge is well equipped with seating, TV screens, and also it has tables, internet access, and then also they have power sockets and plugs. So that if you come, you don't want to go sit at where the media are supposed to sit to cover the game, you can still be in the lounge. You'll be monitoring the game via the screens that have been connected, and then you'll still be doing your job. And it is well comfortable. So any media person can just go there. You sit, you do your job. Even after the game, if you want to still hang around and then do some stuff like photography, write your articles and all stuff, you can do that easily. Then it is well stocked with food. Trust me, no Ghanaian club can do what Kaiser Chiefs did for the media. They spent in excess of $2,000 just to make sure the media will be comfortable.
Wow.
Food, variety of food. So there was a buffet. So you come there, you start enjoying the meal as to whether the game has started or not. Just enjoy. There are fruit, there are snacks, there are meat. One thing in South Africa that you will not really miss is meat. There are variety of meat always available. If it's breakfast, there is meat. If there is lunch, there is meat. If there is supper, there is meat. Every kind of meal they prepare, they make sure that meat accompanies it. So you can still do your tea and your meat. You enjoy it. And so they've well stocked the media lounge with meat, variety of meat, with food, rice dishes, and other dishes. They have drinks, water, and also they have fruit available. So if you just want to go light, you can do it. If you want to go heavy, you can do it. Now, this was the eye-opener for me. When I entered initially, I thought it was a vendor that had set up, and then all that was on offer was available for sale. So a lady came to me and was like, do you care for anything? Knowing my budget, I just
said no.
I'm okay. I am okay. So a couple of South African friends who we had met earlier, a day earlier, the pre-match press conference, came around, and I just saw them. Some picked bowls of peanuts, they poured it into their hands, and then they were just munching on it. Some came, they were taking drinks, and they were like, why? Don't I care for it? I said, is it for sale? I said, no, hell no. They are not selling it. It's available. So I decided not to pick mine. I went to call some of the Ghanaian media guys to come around, just enjoy themselves. And to my surprise, everybody had a very good time, and it was free. The moment I picked a bottle of water, the lady replaced it. and told me that if I want to go around the commentary, if it is time and I'm leaving to go around the commentary, I can take like 3 bottles of water so that I can put beside me, so I'll be very comfortable. So like the customer satisfaction, or let's say the satisfaction of the guest is optimal. They want to see to it that you came for a particular purpose. You will do your job, but you do it in a comfortable manner and a convenient manner. So they are making provision for whatever thing that you will need. If you will need drinks, it is available. If you need water, it's available. Fruit is available. At halftime, come over, come and eat, enjoy yourself, and feel okay.
Great. I mean, that's...
They told me it is a standard practice.
Yeah.
It's something that they do on a regular.
Yeah, it's standard. I mean, I was at the Unity Cup. I can tell you that taking care of the media is regular thing. It's a very regular thing elsewhere. Let's talk about the game itself, the aftermath, and what Kotoko are picking up from the game. Michael, for those who missed it, what kind of game was it? How did Asante Kotoko fare? And what have been their thoughts of their experience playing Kaizer Chiefs in the Toyota Cup game?
So these were two teams at various stages as regards their preseason. In fact, Asante Kotoko are yet to start their preseason. For Kaizer Chiefs, they were about wrapping up their preseason because they went to the Netherlands where they played a series of friendly games with top or elite teams in the Netherlands. And so with some 2-3 weeks to start their season, their coach said they were wrapping up their preseason. So for them, they were facing Kotoko in top shape. For Kotoko, they were yet to start their preseason proper. Don't forget that they had to do with some makeshift training sessions just to prepare themselves to go play Accra Suffolk in the President's Cup. And then from there, they had to also prepare hurriedly for this game. And so they were not in top shape per their preseason. So during the pre-match press conference, I asked Zito as to how his approach to the game would be. And he was very blunt. He said that looking at where they were and where Kaizer Chiefs were in terms of their team shape and everything, then they were just going to play the game for the result. They won't play particularly as to a certain training regime or a training strategy or whatever. They will just go into the game for the result. And so he said that on studying Kaizer Chiefs per the videos, then they would have to adopt a more defensive approach. They would have to concede possession to Kaizer Chiefs, but make sure they were defensively solid so they would not concede, and then put themselves in a position where they could create moments where they could get at least a goal. And we all saw it play out in the game. The execution was solid. Kotoko had a very, very robust defensive unit. What they did was that they placed 4 defenders who were accustomed to how Zito expected them to play in goalkeeper Mohamed Kamara, Lord Amoah right back, Patrick Esiedu at left back, central defense, and Riansu Sambo-O'Neal. Now, these were players who were part of the Kotoko team that concluded last season by winning the FA Cup. So they were familiar with how the coach expected them to operate. No new players started in the defense. The midfield had 2 new players, and that was Hilary Adabo and then also Seth Kojo. Now, their job was simple. Seth Kojo was supposed to recycle possession when Hilary Adabo had put in the tackle, gone into the duel just to win possession for them. And so whenever Kotoko were without the ball, they had a 6-man defensive unit. And it was actually a struggle for Kaizer Chiefs to break into. The build-up phases for Kaizer Chiefs was excellent. From their goalkeeper, Brandon Peterson, to their defenders, mostly they build up with their 2 centre-backs, Ignacio Miguel, who is their captain, and then Aiden McCarthy, who's the left centre-back. He was excellent with the build-up, the passing lanes. Then they will push forward their fullbacks, and Monyane, and then the other fullback, the left fullback. Then in the middle, Tabutele, Ngokpo, and then Mtetwa, they will also try to recycle possession. But when they were progressing from their midfield build-up phase, they were always finding it difficult to get to the final build-up phases, which is the attackers. So Lilepo, who had been much heralded as the main guy for Chiefs in this game, it was basically an unknown entity. His threat was stifled by Lord Amoah, who was very aggressive on him. Infundo Vilakazi, who was also excellent and delightful to watch on the right channel. He was also given an aggressive marking by Patrick Esiedu. And then their new striker, Flavio da Silva, did also really have a good game. And it was not surprising that in the aftermath of the game, a lot of the Kaizer Chiefs fans were disappointed in his performance. But I would say that It was because of how Zito set up his defense to go into the game. So I would say the game plan of Asante Kotoko worked to perfection, and they also knew that when it gets to penalty shootout, they had an able goalkeeper in Mohamed Kamara, and then we all saw what he did. It was splendid. So I think Kotoko's game plan trumped that of Kaiser Chiefs, and you have to give them the credit. It was not a vintage Asante Kotoko performance, but I think it was a solid defensive display, and they yielded the results. So kudos to them.
Finally, away from matters on the pitch to matters off the pitch, did Asante Kotoko strike new friendships? Have they had conversations with Kaiser Chiefs on what they can do going forward? And have Kotoko said anything at all in terms of lessons they have learned from their experience in South Africa?
Definitely, yeah, from the Kotoko hierarchy, starting with the IMC chair, I think he got an eye-opener in some of the developments that happened. But he was very emphatic. He said that from the way Kaiser Chiefs have treated them here in South Africa, they can't host Kaiser Chiefs in Ghana. Because if they are to maintain the same standards, they don't have a budget for that. And because they were treated like royalty from their hotel, everywhere they passed, they were treated like they were an international national side. That is the level Kaiser Chiefs did for Asante Kotoko. And straight ahead, if you look at what unraveled before, during, and after the game, I think this is going to be a long-standing relationship between the two clubs, Kaiser Chiefs and Asante Kotoko. And again, Kaiser Chiefs even extended their friendship to the media. And there was a soiree they held for the media. That was match day -1, a day before the game. And then they made us to meet the Durban province deputy director of tourism, who took us through the various things that we can find in Durban and all that. So it's the same as they did for Asante Kotoko. They met with certain high-profile executives of the club, officials of the club, and even people in Durban. You know, Kaiser Chiefs are not originally from Durban, and so they are from Soweto.
Soweto, yeah.
But they took the game to Durban for 2 reasons. They won the Nedbank Cup there, and so they decided to go say thank you to the people of Durban. And then Toyota South Africa has an assembling plant where they assemble and make their Toyota brand of cars in Durban. So for sponsorship reasons, they also wanted to just honor the sponsor. And all these things, they introduced Kotoko to it. The Kaiser Chiefs media team had no less than 30 people working on the day.
And the Kaiser Chiefs media team?
Yeah, they had no less than 30 people working on the day. So pitch side, they had their usual cameramen with the video cameras. They were taking footages of the game, live footages, and feeding it to those who needed it. And then they also had other media guys working for the digital team who had mobile phones with AI gimbals, who were taking shots from various angles. So one was, 2 were at the pitch side at opposite directions, the southern the west and then the east. And then at the southern part and then the north part, that is behind the 2 goalposts, they also had 2 people stationed there with their cameras. Then there were some in the stands who were also taking some of the fun engagement sessions and then the reactions. And so even those in the stands were like 6 or 8. Then those by the pitch side with mobile phones, there were 4. Those with the cameras, I saw 5. Then those in the presidential lounges and then the VIP lounges, they were also there. And there was even a Ghanaian amongst them who was a freelancer, and he gave us the number. So they have divisions in their media team. They have the head of digital media, who's in charge of their respective social media platforms. She's a female. There is the head of brands and communications, that had to do with Cabello. And then also there was one who was in charge of PR and then media facilitation, and that is Lebo. And so they have those departments in their media team, and there are people working directly under them. Kotoko asked for some of these things. These ideas were shared, and I want to believe that when Kotoko comes to town, definitely they'll want to make an improvement on their media team and some of the stuff that they do. So I am not surprised entirely as to immediately Kotoko arrived from South Africa. They have released stunning videos, launching their new jerseys for the upcoming season. It should tell you that they've actually learned something. In terms of the branding communication, I believe that Asenso, who's been recently appointed, will learn a lot. I saw him engage in hearty conversations with some of the Kaiser Chiefs officials. So definitely, such conversations will be had. Kotoko have learned a lot. It is not just the result. It is not just the Toyota Cup they won. I think there are a lot of stuff that they've tapped into from their visit to South Africa. And I want to believe that those that are applicable now in Ghana, they will come and immediately apply it. And those that they will need time to work things through, they will do. Because for the first time in a long while, they appreciated the essence of having the media around them. The IMC chair personally walked to the media to thank us that we had to take the pain to travel that long distance just to come and cover Asante Kotoko. In times past, they always saw the media as some kind of a nuisance, for want of a better word. But now they were very welcoming. They embraced us, and then they were so open to us. So I think that this trip has actually opened the eyes of the Asante Kotoko team, and then it would change a lot of things about how they operate. And I think it would help them to embrace the new standards and the better way or the best way of doing things.
I guess it's not only Kotoko. I guess all our clubs will have to learn a thing or two. Maybe all our clubs need to experience a trip like this just to let them know what is being done elsewhere, what is possible, and what they must do if they want to take the game to the next level. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. You are still enjoying yourself in the Rainbow Nation. I'm sure we'll speak again soon. And get ready to respond to all the accusations the guys are leveling here.
Tell Raymond to free me. Tell Raymond to free me, I beg.
Michael, thank you so much. Enjoy yourself. Take care. We'll speak again soon.
All right. Thank you very much, Nathan. Bye.
All right. That was Michael Asari-Bredu. He's in South Africa handling one or two things. He'll be back soon. But just giving us a bird's eye view of his own experience there, how everything